Hello, people of God. This is my Jacob's Way TV, and this is Dupi Dupi Singer. This is episode 161. 161. I was beginning, in the last episode, I started to talk about Albert. I'm still talking about Albert. So, Albert eventually got to Lagun. Before he went, I had already pleaded with him to face what he was going to do there. And I told him that I was particularly happy for him to go and hide himself and work hard so that he can at least have something to show off to the people who have been snickering at him and laughing him to scorn because of um, his broken up marriage. He got there. There was one Baba Jebu that was holding forth because they remember I told you that this is the last story that I'm giving you first. The people who went earlier had accommodation, and the Baba Jebu had kept part of the accommodation and kept all the implements of the farming implements, kept them, didn't allow anybody to loot them. And so Albert found um, a good, good enough things to use. And of course, he also had a, he was not alone. He found Baba Jebu uh, a good company for himself. When he saw the land was about 5 acres. Albert called me and was jumping up. Don't forget that I said he was an astute farmer, and he knew a fertile ground. From experience, and he kept saying this is a fertile ground, fertile ground. He was very happy, and he soon went to work. He told me that he was going to plant all the kind of things that I thought could not grow here. Onion. When I say here, this geographical part of Nigeria, I wouldn't have thought that onions would grow in the tropical area. Is it tropical? Is it tropical or what is what? No, that's not what I want to say. The onions would grow um, in this part of Nigeria where there's a lot of rain. He said was going to plant carrots. He was going to plant cabbage and all that. And of course, he was always collecting money from me. Um, Sending, always saying, "Mommy, please send me enough money. I want to buy seeds for this, seed for that, and all that." And I was sending the money. I was sending the money. Then one day, my husband, I call my husband daddy too sometimes. My husband said to me, "You have been sending so much money to this Albert. Have you even tried to go and see the farm to see how well he was doing? Do you know if he's just using your money carelessly or whatever?" So I decided one day to go to look for Albert unexpectedly without him knowing that I was coming. I decided to go on a Thursday so that when I will leave seeing him, I can go to Bethel. Remember, I've told you about how I was going to Bethel in Ibadan. So I left Lagos very early and faced Lagun. I got to Lagun incidentally at the time that Albert had just left he had just gotten home from the farm that evening. Um, he wasn't expecting me, but he was excited to see me. So we went to the farm together. And children of God, I have never seen before what I saw that day. I have never seen anything like that before. The farm was large, was well kept. Do you know, Have you ever been in an airplane? Maybe just ascending, or maybe just descending or ascending, and you can see the farmlands of the area that you have just left or you are just descending onto. Beautiful paths, clean, large. See, he showed me where he planted cabbage. He showed me where he planted cows. He showed me where I planted onions. It was the season for corn. He showed me the place of corn. He showed me where he planted beans. When Albert said he wanted to plant beans, I asked him, why are you disturbing yourself? How many bags of beans do you think you can get? He said, Mommy, I will not get anything less than at least 5 bags. The big bag of beans. He showed me where he planted groundnuts. He showed me where he planted. By the time I left that place, I had counted like 13 different things that Albert had planted. I looked at him. Are you a human being or an angel? If you have read the Bible very well, you remember that the, the sons of God got married to the daughters of men and they gave birth to giants. This is the kind of thing you would have thought that a giant would do. I looked at the man up and down. What kind of a person are you? Where are you coming from? He single handedly did all that one. Baba Jebu was not a serious minded farmer. I wonder if he ever helped him. I've never seen anything like that before. But you see, from the area that he came from, Plateau State, Jos, they are good farmers. There's no doubt about it. I think he planted, of course, sweet potatoes. 13 great, wonderful things. Beautiful farm. It was getting late, so I had to be on my way back to Ibadan. I thanked him. But before I left, I called him aside and I said to him, Albert, if you know what is good for you in this place, you go and hide your head in absolute humility. I said, if you're a little proud in this village, they will destroy you. If you are just a little proud, they will destroy you. They have never seen anything like this before. They will destroy you. If anybody comes to your farm and asks you a question, just behave like you are foolish and stupid. Just be careful. I reminded him about the story of Isaac. The Bible said Isaac sowed in that land and he reaped 100 fold. And the Philistines envied him. I told him, Albert, people are going to envy you. They will envy you to a stupor, if there's anything like that. They will so envy you, they will almost want to send you away so that they can inherit your farm. It was as if I was being prophetic. I warned him. I almost knelt down. I said, you didn't know I was coming, and I found a farm like this. Then you have done very well. Of course, there was tomatoes, there was a big space for tomatoes, big space for pepper. I mean, I was excited. It wasn't a time of harvest, so I didn't bring anything back, but that sufficed me. When my husband asked me, I said, thank God you asked me to be on my way. I would never have known that Albert could have done all those things by himself. And of course, I told the women in Ibadan, in Bethel, and they were excited because they had been part of the 13 people before who were who brought nothing. The farm was the time they should wet the plants, they are sleeping or smoking igbo or I don't know, or drinking paraga. We were all so excited, and it was supposed to be a time to look forward to a bountiful harvest. Now, Albert and I had come to a conclusion that we were going to be partners in farming. So whatever he sold and he made, of course, there was also okra. Incidentally, Lagun, that's the name of a village. The name takes its source from the fact that they in their own land they they farmed a lot, they grew a lot of okra. In Yoruba, okra is called ila. So they said that people in their neighborhood always recognize that their own okra always grew taller than the farms of the people in the other neighborhood surrounding them. So lagun, ila, ogun, uga soke. In Yoruba, those people who speak Yoruba will understand that. So that is how Lagun became the name of that village. You know, so Albert had okra, had different kinds of pepper, all manners of things. I was excited and happy, and I thought that it was time for God to make up for me the time that the locusts had eaten. You know what the Bible says, and I was waiting for a good time of harvest that we will now sell our wares. Albert will sell, and then we will now share the profit. He was still asking me for money. I thank God for one thing. Well, maybe you will blame me for saying what I want to say. I cannot remember how much money I spent, because if I do remember, I'll still be very sad. Somehow I refuse to keep tabs. I will still have been very sad. So what happened afterwards? What happened? What happened? Did Albert, did he sell those things and did he give me my own portion of the money? You have not heard anything yet. We are still just scratching the surface of the story. But it is interesting. Don't forget that I asked you from the beginning, is it all the rules that God gave me that I kept? Is it that I'm so perfect that I did not turn to the left or to the right? And do not forget that I said that even though my mentor said, come and farm, and I believed in him, what did God tell me? I have asked you in the last episode, if your mentor says do this and God says do another, which one of them will you do? Well, I look out for you in the next episode. Thank you for watching. This is Magical Sweet TV. I'm Dupi Dupi Singer. Please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share. And let's see how it ends. And let's see the lesson that we can learn. And don't always forget, He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for His name's sake. God bless you. Bye bye.